CD player. It's the light controller. It's all there. It's all organized. Every guy's got a backup
Super sexy.
amplifier. Everybody's ready to go.
Yeah. JBL speakers,
and one
probably
guy
something really nice.
by the name of Brett, I won't mention his last name, but Brett, he calls me. I said, Brett, you ready to go to the show? He said, I'm ready to go to the show. I called the guys. You ready to go to the show? Yeah, I'm ready to go. Well, I get a call from the bride. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, there's no DJ at the wedding. And I said, now what time?
Panic mode.
And I go, what time is your wedding? She goes, it's at 7 and it's 6:52 or whatever. I'm going, So I remember calling Brett, and Brett had told me he's going to be there.
Sure.
So what I did, it's a true story. I sent my wife over. So my wife used to do the scheduling, kind of behind the scenes, almost like emergency support on the day of the wedding. So I sent my wife to my wedding. So my wife's now running sound at my wedding ahead at the Summit. I think it was at Summit Club. So my wife's running sound for me. I get into the DJ van. I run over to Brett's apartment. Now, I notice all the equipment is in the DJ van, which I hand-painted myself, a DJ Connection van. It's painted in the apartment.
Did you drink wine while you did it? Because that could be the forerunner,
it's at the apartment. No, I want to ask you what you would do. The moral dilemma.
Okay.
The DJ van is fully loaded. It's at the apartment complex.
Okay.
You see all the equipment there, and you have to get it to a wedding. And the keys, you notice you can't get in the car because you see that the keys are in the vehicle.
No.
Okay.
So
Really?
No, true story. So the guy apparently, not only didn't go to the wedding, but apparently he locked the keys in the car or something. I don't know the whole situation.
So the van was locked.
The van was locked, but
Okay.
I see the keys in the vehicle. What would you do, Z? What would you do?
Well, if I don't have any way to jimmy it, I'd bust the window, jump in the van, drive to the wedding, set up the gear, do the show, and then come back to the apartment thing and beat the crud out of Brett.
Ditto.
I did everything except for beating the crap out of the guy.
I would have broke the window out too.
And I found out that the guy, he told me, he tells the other DJs he was upset that he didn't get a bonus or a promotion, so he just was going to teach us a lesson by not going.
Well, you can just find yourself available to the industry by teaching yourself a lesson.
And this is what happens. And I'm not telling you, now the brides, do they go online and complain about him?
No, they complain about you.
Right.
And your business.
And you know whose fault it was? It was my fault.
Sure was.
Because I saw character flaws in him early, and I kept him around.
And you kept him around.
And because I was not judgmental enough, I didn't see it enough, and you know whose fault it was? It was mine.
When you own the business, and Lisa can attest to this, when something goes wrong, the buck stops with the owner. And Lisa, you've experienced that multiple occasions, right?
Absolutely. Last week, I had to let go of a good staffer. She was new. But, there was things that I followed with my gut that I did not follow with my gut. And anytime I've ever went against what my gut was telling me about a person, character flaws, things that they did that were red flags, it just bit me. I mean, because
come on, give me some juicy details. Come on,
well,
give me some.
It's all
give me some
personality
stuff.
conflicts, right?
Yeah.
When you have somebody who just thinks they know better, they push buttons, they create stuff, they try to sabotage other employees. Then you realize why did I let them come in and infiltrate the team? They're toxic that way, that will take down a business. I'm
going to say this, and I want all the Thrivers to mentally picture this little 1, 2, 3 combo. Okay, at the very top of the pyramid is the customer. The customer is the boss, okay? They're the number one driver. They're the one, if they quit coming to your office, you're out of business, okay? They're the boss. They can fire everyone from the chairman on down, to quote Sam Walton. Now, the second person in that is you. Is the owner. And the third is your team. Now, some people get this twisted. They get it wrong.
They do.
I promise you, if you put the team ahead of you or ahead of the customer, if you try to compromise, so your team says, so we work at the Elephant in the Room. One of the businesses I own is called the Elephant in the Room. One of the businesses that I own is called the Elephant in the Room, okay? And Z, do you know when men want to get their hair cut typically? You just have to speculate. What kind of hours?
Towards the end of the day or maybe early in the morning. I would think one of the,
a lot of guys want to get their hair cut like 4 to 7 p.m.
Sure.
And the team, when do they want to not work?
4 to 7 p.m.
Right. So the key to minimizing the profit of a location? You have a super empathetic manager who's empathetic to the team and not to the customer.
Yes.
Empathy, meaning you're getting in the boat you're rowing in the same boat, you're actually getting in the shoes. And if you're getting in the shoes of the customer, work with me. If you're a manager listening, if you're an entrepreneur listening, if you get in the shoes of the customer is saying, I work all day. The only time I'm free is from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. Now, every single team member, with an exception of maybe 4 that I've had over the years at Elephant in the Room, they all go, I have kids. I need to get off. Well, let me tell you what. You give all your employees off from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., you're not going to have any customers then. So I'm telling you this. You have to be empathetic to somebody. You got to choose. Are you going to let the customer be the boss?
Oh, preach it. Come on. This is a word right here.
And you know what? Some people get upset. And I'm just going to tell you what. You got the 3 P's you got to focus on if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur.
Come on.
P number 1. You got to be focused on making a great product that people love, okay, that you're proud of, okay? 2, you got to make sure that you're making a good profit. A good profit, Z. A good profit. And 3, you got to make sure you're working with people that you like. Tony Hsieh, the CEO of Zappos, he actually said, if you Google it online, if you Google this, Tony Hsieh, the CEO of Zappos, has said that he actually fires people that he doesn't like just because he doesn't like them, because it's his business and he wants to like it. Stay tuned. Thrive Time Show.
You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
Hello, Thrive Nation. Welcome back here to the Thrive Time Show during your drive time home. You are listening to the Thrive Time Show. Once again, during your drive time home, it's a place where you can go to learn how to start and grow a business. And a lot of people see, according to Forbes, in fact, 57% of the people listening right now want to learn how to start and grow a business. And Dr. Zoellner, why do you believe that 57% of the planet wants to start and grow a business? Why don't they just want to stay at the same Jobby McJobberson for the rest of their life?
Because everybody, if you really ask them honestly,
okay,
it could be even higher than 57%. If you ask them honestly, they want time freedom, and they want financial freedom.
That seems like a lot of freedom.
Well, I mean, it is.
They may take our lives.
Yeah.
But they'll never take our freedom.
Oh, well, that's a lot. I mean, it's a lot.
Freedom. So, I mean, people want that. And most people understand that if they are going to work, pulling out a card, punching the time card, putting it back in the little slot, putting on their thing, putting on their thing to make the thing. They go down and make a thing, and they get their break, and then they text on their break, and they get done with that, and they go back and punch out their clock. They're not going to get those 2 things that they want. So secretly, deep down inside, they say to themselves,
but
I want to be the man.
But I feel like they get something in exchange for it. I'm going to tell you what something that you get if you're not wanting that financial freedom, that time freedom.
Oh, what do you get?
You get security.
No, well, I'm going to fight you on this.
I'm going to say this real quick.
I'm going to fight you. Let's fight.
I used to work at Target. Let me tell you one thing I did.
We're fighting.
There was kind of deep jackassery, Clay Clark.
Yeah.
And there's post jackassery. So when I worked there at Target, this is what I did. I was at Target, and I realized that there was a massive quantity of soft pretzels being made.
Yes.
And I realized that nobody knew who was eating them all. So I realized that, and we have Lisa Riley on the show here, the proud owner of 4 Pino's Palette locations here. So she's probably horrified as I'm talking about this.
Yeah.
So I'm at Target. I realized nobody knows who's eating all the soft pretzels. So first it was like, hey, at the end of the shift, there's like 4 left. You know what I mean? And they're going to throw them away anyway.
Yeah.
I'll just have them.
I'll just have them. Well, I'm going to fight you. Hey, can we? Let's fight.
Let me finish before you get into. I'm going to
fight you.
So then I
I'm
realized
swinging
I'm going to have more and more, and I realized that the profitability of Target at no point affects me. So I'm going to spend my day boop-a-doop-a-doop trying to get as many soft pretzels as I can. Little games like I could have 2 this shift and 2 on that shift, and no one will know. I could have 5 even. And then it's like the profitability of the company doesn't even matter to me because I can have as many soft pretzels as I want. See, I think a lot of people have that mentality. They can go on Facebook all day. They can screw around at work, and they can't be fired. They got that security.
Well, that's one thing that when people talk to me about that, I reach up and I go, and I slap them. I just slap them, And I say, what are you talking about? You could be fired any day. That company could go out of business any day. Some dude practicing jackassery could eat all the soft pretzels and shut down the store.
Shut it down.
Shut it down. So it's not security. Listen out there. There's a lot of fine businesses that go broke. There's a lot of fine businesses that lay off people. There's a lot of fine businesses that do that. And if you don't ever want to be laid off, I promise you this, the last person I'm going to ever lay off of my business
is you?
How'd you know? Is that on the notes? How'd you know that?
Now I want to ask you this though, because this is something that I think a lot of people struggle with, and I think when you start a business, what happens is you begin to think a little bit differently. So I want to ask you, running Pino's Palette. I mean, have you ever had times where you've realized, hey, the profitability when you're first starting out isn't where it needs to be?
Oh,
and somebody on my team is eating all the profits. Have you ever thought about maybe should I let them go or should I lay myself off? I mean, because these are the moral dilemmas you run into when you're starting a business.
Well, one of the things people don't realize is when you're starting a business, they don't think about how many months it's going to take to build out, and you need to have a paycheck or money saved up for that. You need to also expect that when you first get open, those first few months, you're not going to turn a profit.
What?
I know.
I have a great idea, though.
I know. I was fortunate enough that we turned a profit fairly quickly, but at the same time, most people don't.
You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
So, elephant in the room, we opened up our third location in Broken Arrow up there, 65th and Lynn Lane. If you're listening, we have 3 locations to serve you. And it's always $1 for your first haircut. So if you're listening right now and you go, I don't even like elephant in the room. I don't even know if this men's grooming thing is real. I don't know. I'm not sure. I like sports clips. I like supercuts. I like whatever. Come on in. Take the challenge. It's $1 for your first haircut. But I'm telling you, when we open up our first location and we're doing $1 for the first haircut, Z, let me tell you what. The first week, we had about 250 guys come in for the first time.
Dudes.
In Broken Arrow.
Dudes, man.
And when you charge $1 for the first haircut,
you made $250,
That's
you're
painful.
rolling, bro.
Painful.
You're rolling.
and every single stylist who works there is making more than $250 a week.
Right.
You're losing some money.
Yeah.
Some copious amounts of cash. A lot of money going
Marketing
out.
money.
Not a lot of money coming in. So what advice would you have here for the entrepreneur who's going, I've got a lot of money coming out, not a lot of money coming in?
You have to be smart about it. You got to figure out, to me, like using your example is prime. Anytime I sit down and somebody wants to pick my brain about these things, yes, you were eating money and it was just flying out the window and you were still having to pay people. But at the same time, every one of those people that paid $1 that had a great time, they either posted about it on Facebook or told somebody at work.
Yep.
So to me, I look at it as it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's marketing, it's advertisement, because people believe word of mouth from a trusted friend more than they believe me trying to tell them how awesome Pinot's Palette is.
If I'm listening right now and I go, I don't even know if Pinot's Palette is the place for me. I'm going, I've heard about it. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's not that fun. What challenge would you have? What can people do? What's a special? What's a boom? What's an action item someone can take if they want to come experience Pinot's Palette for the first time?
Well, I always tell people, get out of your comfort zone. Try something you've never done. I mean, when you were an adult, the last thing that we have here really to do is go to the movies, go to the dinner, go to a bar, or go to a club.
Go to a bar,
And I'm
Z.
over the club scene.
You're
So
over the club scene?
I feel old right now.
Why are you over
Yeah.
the club scene? I mean, it's a
don't get me
thing.
wrong. I will break it down right now for everybody. But, I wanted something that was like smart, but at the same time really fun. And everyone knows everyone here drinks wine. So please.
Oh, it's kind of loud coming through there, kind of hot. But I want to ask you, when did you
Coming in
stop?
hot.
When did you stop going to the clubs? Did you stop going when there was quad skates and they were kind of old school
jackets?
skating? You got the blue lights and the whole, did
Couple skate.
couple
Shuffle
skate,
skate.
dice in the mirror. I mean,
Shuffle.
when did you get over the couple skate? When did you get over the whole
there
old
you go.
school
I don't know.
club
I
scene?
think if my girlfriends asked me to go to the club right now, I'd probably go just because I haven't been in so long. But
Really?
I don't know. I just wanted something smart to do for people to try that, another thing to do to get out, but I don't be creative and put your phone down.
Lisa, but what? I'm kind of intimidated. I'm not an artist. I don't know how to paint.
But
I don't want to be
anyone can
embarrassed.
pick up a paintbrush and move it around.
Oh, okay. So
Right?
you like step by, it's like kind of like painting in numbers or
It's like
something?
paint by numbers, but there's no numbers on there, and we literally show you how to do it. Anyone can do it.
Anyone. That's a
Anyone.
challenge. Is that a challenge?
I challenge you to try it.
Wow.
I challenge you to try
We
it
might
and
do.
get
You
out
know,
of your comfort zone.
let's have
Get
her
out
back
of your
on
box.
the show, and we'll do it on Facebook Live. We'll do a thing.
Painting online.
Yeah, one of our
live?
shows down the road. We'll have Lisa back on. again, 'cause
I
she's
could
a
say
great-
I went there with my wife. I will say I went there with my wife, the one off the Riverwalk.
be
here
honest,
in
did you have a
Jinx.
good time?
Oh, I had a great time. I'm
Did
gonna
your
tell you-
wife have a good time?
Yeah, and you guys were playing The Regulators by Warren G. It was a great song. It was a great vibe, a great mojo. The painting instructor, a.k.a. the DJ, led us through an unbelievable experience. I painted a butterfly. I still have it. It was a great time. It was
A
great
butterfly.
Pinot's Palette. It was awesome, yeah. By the way, my wife's name is Vanessa, which means butterfly, allegedly, in some sort of translation. That's just in.
Oh, that was a sweet brownie point for you. Sweet brownie point.
Live, local, now. You're listening to the Thrive Time Show on Talk Radio 1170.
All right, Thrive Nation, welcome back to the Inspiration Station. You're listening to the Thrive Time Show during your drive time home. And yes, you are joined here today with a super guest. We have